Microsoft has had a term christened to it for definition of its business practices. This is Embrace, Extend, and Extinguish. What I'm about to read you now comes directly from Wikipedia. I'm not going to read everything. I'm just going to highlight the main points, and you can take a look at the article for yourself. Embrace, extend, and extinguish, also known as embrace, extend, and exterminate, is a phrase that the U.S. Department of Justice alleged was used internally by Microsoft to describe their strategy for entering product categories involving widely used standards, extending those standards with proprietary capabilities, and then using those differences to the disadvantage of its competitors. Now, let me just make a quick correction. I said that the Justice Department had given that term to Microsoft. Apparently, that was used by Microsoft internally, as you just saw, so my apologies for that. We're going to skip the origin, but you might want to take a look at that because it's rather interesting. Because the extinguish item that Microsoft uses for its practices was originally supposed to be embrace, extend, and innovate. And that was by another individual who I think had the much better idea. It seems to me that possibly Apple might be doing that, embrace, extend, and innovate, as opposed to embrace, extend, and extinguish. Anyway, the alleged strategies, 3 phases are: embrace, development of software substantially compatible with a competing product, or implementing a public standard. Extend, addition and promotion of features not supported by the competing product or part of the standard, creating interoperability problems for customers who try to use the simple standard. Extinguish, when extensions become a de facto standard because of their dominant market share, they marginalize competitors that do not or cannot support the new extensions. The U.S. Department of Justice, Microsoft's critics, and computer industry journalists claim that the goal of the strategy is to monopolize a product category, and such a strategy differs from Jay Allard's originally proposed strategy of embrace, extend, and innovate, like I was just talking about, both in content and phases. Microsoft claims that the original strategy is not anti-competitive, but rather an exercise of its discretion to implement features it believes customers want. Now, the original strategy being embrace, extend, and innovate. This statement right here, Microsoft claims that the original strategy is not anti-competitive, but rather an exercise of its discretion to implement features it believes customers want. I think that what they're doing is anti-competitive, the embrace, extend, and extinguish. I think the story that embrace, extend, and innovate is not anti-competitive. I think it's opposite that. It helps to extend the competition. I think Apple, like I said earlier, I think Apple might be doing this. But this is just my view on it, but perhaps Microsoft wants it to be anti-competitive because, like I said, I seriously think that they're trying to dominate everything as far as computers go that is not them. They want to completely destroy them to the point where they're literally the only person left. Anyway, these are examples of this. Browser incompatibilities. The plaintiffs in the antitrust case claimed that Microsoft had added support for Active 10 controls in the Internet Explorer web browser to break compatibility with Netscape Navigator, which used components based on Java and Netscape's own plugin system. Another example would be breaking Java's portability. The antitrust case's plaintiffs also accused Microsoft of using an embrace and extend strategy with regard to the Java platform, which was designed explicitly with the goal of developing programs that could run on any operating system, be it Windows, Mac, or Linux. Now, that's a good thing. But then, they claimed that by omitting the Java native interface from its implementation and providing J/Direct, for a similar purpose, Microsoft deliberately tied Windows Java programs to its platform, making them unusable on Linux and Mac systems. According to an internal communication, Microsoft sought to downplay Java's cross-platform capability, and make it, quote, just the latest, best way to write Windows applications. Microsoft paid Sun $20 million in January of 2001 to settle the resulting legal implications of the breach of contract. Networking. In 2000, an extension to the Kerberos networking protocol, an internet standard, was included in Windows 2000, effectively denying all products, except those made by Microsoft, to access a Windows 2000 server using Kerberos. The extension was published through an executable, whose running requiring agreeing to an NDA. Excuse me, I think I probably misread that. Whose running required agreeing to an NDA, disallowing third-party implementation, especially open source. To allow developers to implement the new features without having to agree to the license, users on Slashdot posted the document disregarding the NDA, effectively allowing third-party developers to access the documentation without having agreed to the NDA. Microsoft responded by asking Slashdot to remove the content. Employee testimony. In 2007, Ronald Alapin gave sworn expert testimony for the plaintiffs in Combs versus Microsoft, in which he cited internal Microsoft emails to justify the claim that the company intentionally employed this practice, the practice being Embrace, Extend, and Extinguish. Open document. In an interview, Tom Robertson at Microsoft said that if Open Document would be a requirement, then Microsoft would implement it, but extend it. Let's see. Here we go. Sender ID. In the experimental Sender ID standard, Microsoft deliberately puts restrictions on SPF records, PRA, I had no idea what that is, thereby breaking existing technology in favor of their own extended version. So, well, let's put it this way. Like I said at the beginning, you can make your own judgments, but I personally feel that perhaps Microsoft wants to completely eliminate the competition, and I mean that quite literally. I don't mean just I mean, having competition is a good thing, but when you go, I mean, yeah, your goal is to have the best product out there, but certainly you can embrace other companies. But when you try to completely eliminate them off the map so that they no longer exist, so that you're the only player on the ballpark, it's kind of like taking all the players out of a baseball game and leaving you with just the batter or the pitcher, you know? What have you got? Just one person standing out there all by themselves. Thus, no game. And I don't know what Microsoft is up to, but I don't like it. Comments and questions are welcome. I do realize this is highly controversial, but please, please keep your comments positive and no bashing on me, please. Watch the video Glasses Equals No Glasses Equals How Much Vision to see how well I can see without these, so that you can get rid of any questions you have regarding my glasses on that video. Thank you. Comments on this video, positive ones, are welcome. Thank you for watching, and have a nice evening.